Hey everyone, welcome back to another question and answer session of quiz time. I hope all of you are doing good and I believe all of you staying safe during this pandemic time. And let's quickly move to today's question. So, the question is, when was the first email sent? So, email is one of the, with billions of people all over the world sending emails every day to both at work and personally. So we tend to take for granted this method of communication and consider email as an inherent part of our modern digital lives. And in reality, email is a relatively recent luxury. So when was the first email sent? I believe this is an interesting question to many. So, the first ever email in the history was sent in the year 1971, and it is sent by a person called as Ray Tomlinson. So, he sent this email to himself, not to any other recipient. So, and the content of that mail was something, a test email, kind of, the QWERTIOP or something similar. It was just a sample test email sent from his email account to himself. So so who is Roy, sorry, who is Ray Tomlinson? So Ray Tomlinson is the founder of email. So he sent the first. We have to thank him. We have to thank him for initiating the incredible new era of communication that we now enjoy. And he sent the first email in 1971. And he was born in New York, USA in the year 1941, and he attended America's oldest research university, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, where he received a Bachelor of Science degree in electrical engineering at the age of 22. He continued his studies at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and earned himself an SM in electrical engineering in 1965. He started his impressive working career as a computer engineer for both Beranek and Newman BBN Technologies. This was the company hired by the United States Defense Department to build ARPANET. What is ARPANET? Advanced Research Projects Agency Network, a government-funded network that connected various research organizations across the country, the forerunner of Internet. So before inventing Internet, there was a system where the organization used to connect to each other. That medium was called as ARPANET. So we will learn about ARPANET in any other in our later question and answer sessions of this particular quiz time. So how did he invent email? What was the push behind Ray Tomlinson to invent email? So no one asked him to invent email. That was the reality. It was something that Tomlinson was working on as a personal side project to his commissioned work. So email began as an experiment to see if two computers could exchange a message. So, like, Tomlinson wanted to make two computers communicate. So there started the invention of email. So the concept of sending another person a message to a computer was not invented by Tomlinson, because computer scientists had been exchanging messages on machines for years. So his way of invention was something different. So computers could communicate uh, through internet. So these previous forms of electronic communication only allowed people to send messages to other users of the same computer or to numbered mailboxes where the messages had to be printed out. So there were too much of limitations. So computer to computer communication was not that human friendly, I believe. So Tomlinson wanted to send messages to people, not to mailboxes. He wanted to talk directly. He wanted to send messages directly. So he decided to modify and combine the programs that were already out there. So and he created a software for sending the email, and the innovative email software he created was called SNTMSG. So, in speaking to the Verge is a media. So, in 2012, Tomlinson said there was no really good way to leave messages for people. The telephone worked up to a point, but someone had to be there to receive the call, and if it wasn't the person what you wanted to get, it was an administrative assistant or an answering service or something else. So that was the sort of mechanism you had to go through to leave a message. So everyone latched onto the idea of what you could leave messages on the computer. So email was initially was a speedy way for ARPANET programmers and researchers to keep in touch, particularly targeted at those who can't be relied on to answer their phones. So that was one advantage. If you're not available, you can just send the email. You send the email and let the recipient read the email whenever he is comfortable. It's nothing like when you the okay. For example, you are calling someone, and the phone is ringing and he's not picking the call, and it's like there is only one way communication. The one person tried to reach someone on phone and he couldn't connect him. So just now we have a lot of other forms to send messages. We have WhatsApp, we have SMS, uh, we have a lot of things. Those times, ancient times, we were not having mobile phones. We were having just the land phones with receivers, and also the 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 digital communication was not possible through phones. But nowadays we have a lot of mediums to send messages. But those times, so you wanted to talk to some person and you tried to call him over the phone and he's not picking the call, and what he will do, just send out a mail. So that is the innovative thing Ray Tomlinson found. But still, we use email for communication in our office, daily office things, as well as for our personal needs. But one of the biggest invention, I could say, email was found by Ray Tomlinson. So again, let's talk about the very first email what he sent. Tomlinson sent the first history-making email to a computer that was in the same room as him, so that he could check whether the software worked. So as I repeated at the beginning, it was just a kind of test message what he sent, and it was just with some uh, random text, nothing personal, no content. Literally, we can say the mail with a kind of a random content he sent. So Tomlinson has been frequently asked what the first message was, and to many people's disappointment, he says the test messages were entirely forgettable, and I have therefore forgotten them. So something like QWERTY, IOP. So that's all about the first message. That those were just test messages. So what Tomlinson didn't invent was the universally used term email, which is an abbreviation of the electronic mail. So he he didn't name it. So it was later named as electronic mail, or the